Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hunt Club podcast, the product briefing series. So today I'm joined by Zoe, my team member from the product marketing team, and we are going to talk about our June platform enhancements in the Vectra AI platform. So let's start. So the first enhancement in June is about executive overview report. Zoe, tell us about that.
The executive overview report, I worked very closely with the launch of this. What it is that it's a new high-level reporting feature within the Vectra AI platform. So security leaders need to make fast strategic decisions and they need clean, credible data, like things that they can actually see, numbers that they can see, charts, trends, all of that. So launching this executive overview report is what our answer to that essentially. And what this does is that summarizes key metrics like noise to signal ratios, attack trends, and a bunch of other really great metrics here. Um, so what this really means for our, security professionals is that CISOs, security managers are able to demonstrate risk reduction, SOC efficiency to leadership or board members here in a very like concise way. So that's basically it. And you can see an example to the right there of what it kind of looks like.
Perfect. This shows the value of the Vectra AI platform and also the impact that we can help with the company, which is great. I know you also had
Exactly.
another podcast about that. So
Yes, so check
for
it out.
people,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
check it
yeah.
out. Awesome. Moving on to the next one. So we have some new network detections as well in June. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, we have three new network detection enhancements here, and all this is to really speak upon our network coverage. The first one is protocol activity, internal detections. Now we're covering LDAP, Kerberosis, LTM, SMB for internal lateral and reconnaissance behavior. And this expands our ability to catch in-network movement early. And what this really means for our security professionals here is that it enables more granular detection on a stealthy lateral movement, which is where a lot of modern attackers like dwell, across common enterprise protocols. So once again, that coverage that we really emphasize in our, our product. Second one, suspect protocol activity brute force. So what this does is we can now detect brute force attempts across all supported protocols from RDP to FTP to HTTP. So if someone's hammering at passwords, we'll be able to spot that really quickly. What this means for our security professionals out there improves visibility into credential-based attacks. So once again, network coverage, really important, especially when it's within the network like this. Lastly, NTLM relay activity detection. So this is for our NTLM-based lateral movement. What this does is it identifies when hijack or attackers hijack NTLM authentication to gain unauthorized access into the network. This is commonly used for lateral movement and domain escalation attacks. And what this does is once again enhancing that threat coverage against sophisticated domain escalation and credential relay attacks. Once again, that really in-depth network movement that attackers, once they're in there, they're I don't really need to
Yeah.
say that. Just use my hands to go through. But yeah, these are all our new enhancements. We're enhancing our network detections all the time, adding new ones even. So please keep an eye out for that. This is all in an effort to make our coverage a lot better and yeah, to catch those modern attackers.
Perfect. It's really great to know. And it's also good to know that we don't only push out new detections based on
No.
new attacker behavior that we observe. We also constantly enhance our existing detection so that they're higher fidelity and also covers like broader range of attacker techniques as well. So really great to know.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Someone said on a recent podcast, or maybe it was just a conversation, it was like, we're not an alert no farm, we're not here for that at all. We're here to make things easier for security analysts, security professionals, and that means enhancing our detections to match what's going on in the field. Yep.
Yeah,
Speaking of detections, we have some new AWS ones, right, Tiff? Can you walk
yes,
us through
we
that?
do. Sure. So in June, we launched a new suite of AWS detections, mainly focusing on Bedrock. So Bedrock is an Amazon managed service for building and deploying Gen AI apps. And while we know that again with Gen AI advancement and innovation, it's always a great productivity boost for the company. But at the same time, we also see that attacker has different ways to abuse it. So we want to make sure that we secure organizations' deployment of AWS Bedrock. And so here are the four ways we detect AWS Bedrock abuse. So the first one is about when a user disable prompt logging at a regional level, which basically stops the of prompt and response. And we know that whenever attacker compromise a cloud environment, the first thing that they do is always to disable logging,
Mm,
which basically to hide their malicious activities. So being able to detect that basically helps us detect early attacker behaviors in abusing the service. So the second one here, it's detecting when AWS Bedrock novel model is enabled. So essentially, this detection surface when an unfamiliar identity enables a Bedrock model for the first time, which could suggest unauthorized access to a costly or sensitive Gen AI service, which could have high cost
mm,
implication to a company. So
mhm,
relating to this detection, we are also launching the suspicious bedrock activity detection. Basically, similarly, we detect an identity who has no prior history of using this service, enables and also invoke a model in sequence, which could suggest that the actor is basically testing and actively using this
mm,
model at the
mhm,
victim's expense. So it could be insider risk, it could be shadow IT, and it could have data exfiltration implication as well from the LLM query. So that's very important.
mm,
And the last detection here um, is basically notifies whenever a AWS Bedrock foundational model is enabled. So while this is not a always suspicious, but because this activities is very rare, and if it is
mm.
abused, it would have very high cost and security implication for the company. That's why we would alert you if any of these happens.
Gotcha, gotcha. And going back to the idea that attackers are using like Gen AI tools to really advance their attacks, I recently did a podcast speaking to Owen about it on the MDR team, and he kind of covers like it's minutes now. It's minutes, even seconds now, where things
Yeah.
that used to be really, really difficult for attackers to
Mhm.
do is just
Yeah.
incredibly easy. So having all these
Yeah.
detections here is
Yeah,
is
especially
yeah.
they can build models on top of these services
Yeah.
basically to get sensitive data much quicker than before. So
Hmm.
organizations really have to have visibility on the Gen AI usage so that they can
Hmm.
stop these attack, especially they're happening so fast.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. And speaking about detections, we want to be able to stitch all that together, right? And then triage that.
Yes.
Can you talk about this
Yeah.
enhancement here, AI triage agent for Entra ID and M365? Not about AWS, but still very important.
Yeah, it's also in the cloud.
Yeah.
Sure. So Vectra AI triage agents basically automatically investigate benign incidents in a customer environment. And this enhancement is particularly for some key detections in Entra ID and M365. So with these enhancement in AI triage, it basically helps security team reduce the benign prioritization. And in some of the case, it could lead to up to 50% less prioritized alerts, which also while we don't really compromise the threat coverage as well. So in here, the for the M365 detection here, we have also enhanced this detection in the suspicious download activity detection, and we now also incorporate ASN data, which essentially provides
Mm,
deeper insight into who is accessing or downloading these activities from M365. And then the other detection here is Entra ID suspicious scripting engine, which we also has enhanced the triage of these behaviors. And we've also enhanced this detection by with an improved user agent parsing. What it does is that it basically helps security teams more effectively identify unauthorized scripted access, which helps them catch stealthy attacker behavior faster. So with the triage enhancement, it basically helps security teams sharpen their detection while minimizing benign detections. So speeding up their investigation and improving their mean time to response.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, that point about we're not an alert farm here. We want to make things pointed. We want to make things actionable for security analysts. And one of those things is our AI triage agent. Yeah, absolutely. All
Perfect.
right. Next
Right,
one.
so let's talk about other enhancement as well. I know we have a couple of platform enhancement as well.
Mhm.
Tell us more about what has we expanded on the GCP Brain offerings.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, the this one and the following enhancement is on the back end, so you don't really see it like on the interface, but it is quite important. For this one specifically, very simple. So for customer scaling, cloud coverage, like increasing like gigabytes and everything, we've expanded the brain capacity, the GCP brain capacity on Vectra brain employments with 5 GB per second and 15 GB per second capacity. So this brings us to full feature parity with other brains and ensures performance across large-scale GCP environments. So once again, greater flexibility, scalability for our customers. Very simple. Yeah.
All right, cool. And moving on to the last one for this month. So we've made enhancement in group support for our QUX API. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is about our Vectra REST API, which you haven't heard about it. You should check it out on our knowledge base article. It's a very complex system, but basically it's just an API. What we've done here is that we've enhanced the Vectra REST API by adding the groups endpoint support feature that a couple of our customers have been asking before. This allows users to query group information directly from the API, so getting details like group names, types, and members. And then when you're integrating with an external directory or automating investigations, driving custom workflows, this capability gives you faster programmatic access to identity group context that was previously only available through the UI. So this just makes it very more automatically fast. Um, just to help you with your investigations. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, I know a lot of our enhancement is focusing on speeding up analysts' response workflow, investigation workflow, making sure that they spend the least amount of time on the platform to do their
100%.
job.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so perfect. Really
Yeah.
good to know.
All right. Well, I think that's it. What we have for this month's release notes. If you want to check it out, exactly what was on the release notes, you can go to support.vectra.ai. Excuse me. And that is pretty much it. Any last thoughts, Tiff?
Yeah, no, thanks for joining me, Zoe. And for everyone else, if you like our content, do subscribe to our channel. We put up different product related content, thought leadership content as well, based on different cyber trends. And if you haven't checked out these episodes, do check them out as well and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
With that, thanks so much, Zoe, and hope
Yeah.
to
Thank
see you in
you.
the next one.
All right. See ya.
See
Bye.
you. Bye.